Time to talk business now, thanks to our partners Forsyth Barr. UK debt markets have been bouncing around in the last few hours as the latest turmoil rips through Whitehall. Did bond prices save Sir Keir Starmer's political butt? Garth Bray has been looking at this morning and joins us, Herald NOW business host. Garth, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
What's happened with the bond markets?
Right, so this is what they call gilt, which is another name for 10-year sterling debt, and it bounced around quite a bit, about 9 basis points, which is quite a lot of movement in a day, to about 4.6, and all of this was, and dropped back down about 3 now. I'll explain why. So Sir Keir Starmer's been in a bit of trouble because of Mandelson, who he appointed as UK ambassador. This is all Epstein files fallout. He's lost 2 people from his office in the last sort of 48 hours or so. And it looked like things were on. The Scottish First Minister said, hey, maybe he should go. And that basically led the market to think, well, if the next person comes in as perhaps from the left of politics, what does that mean? Basically, people wanted a risk premium. They wanted to, charge a bit more for borrowing costs to, on UK debt. So that price went up. The UK cabinet went, ooh, this looks starting to look a bit like old Liz Truss and getting chucked out because she made a terrible decision as Conservative PM maybe to put in a crazy budget that lost confidence of the market. And they all rallied around Keir Starmer and the price went back down again. So, just an interesting example of how market pressure somehow plays out sometimes in politics.
Yeah, but that guy, the Scottish guy, he's got an election coming up in May, and so he's a bit worried about his own butt.
And that's
which
yeah.
is why you shouldn't really listen to what he said.
Yeah, well, possibly there's a lot. But that might be when all the Labour rivals are going to consider making their move against him. Some
yes,
people might
true.
say.
Anyway, he's got. I was reading
against Starmer. I'm talking about as well.
Yes, he's one of only 4 Starmer. Labour leaders in history who have been actually elected to the role of Prime Minister.
There we go.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Do a bit of chopping and changing there.
Now, this morning there's a report out about the Charities regulator has an active investigation right now into entities connected to Destiny Church.
Yeah, this is a sort of classic follow the money kind of investigation Maria Slade over at Business Desk has been taking a look at. Destiny International Trust, renamed as the Whakamana International Trust in August. We're going to get into some detail here, but removed from the Charities register about 3 or 4 years ago because it hadn't filed annual returns. IRD put it and another Destiny associated trust into liquidation successfully end of last year. Said they owed about $5 million in tax debt. But some investigations, and at the time they said, look, there's no connection whatever to Destiny Church's ongoing charitable operations because it had been deregistered. But you can still put money into a deregistered charity from another registered charity, and that's what it turns out about 7 other charitable trusts associated with Destiny Churches around the country have been doing, to the tune of about 820 grand. Now, you can still do that, but it means you kind of lose sight of how that money is being spent. And so the Charities regulator is taking a good look at all of this, and some people who follow this kind of thing are saying, look, this is a kind of a classic example of why we need perhaps stronger policing and regulation around sort of charities registers. And as I say, just a classic sort of follow the money about an organisation that's probably people are interested in anyway, even though it's not going to turn up in your KiwiSaver anytime soon.
No, certainly not. Though you could pray for such things. Hey, the Super Bowl yesterday, there was the actual sport, which no one seems to really care about.
Oh, come on.
Then there was the halftime show,
yeah,
which people sort of care about. Yeah. And then there's the ads, which everyone cares about.
Everyone cares about the ads because they are so well made, and 130 million people in the US, they reckon, watch this. The ad price, I think, for a 30-second spot there goes for about $8 million US because there are so many eyeballs on it. We can only dream of such numbers, but we'll get there. 15 out of the 66 spots were for AI or AI-related stuff. This is OpenAI and Anthropic or Claude trying to make a go. We'll have a bit of a play there. That's Matthew Broderick in an ad for GenSpark, basically saying take the day off tomorrow because you can use AI. That's Claude's taking a shot at ChatGPT saying, you're running ads in your prompts, and we don't do that. Interestingly, they sort of changed their tagline a little bit to sort of soften that from what it actually went to air. Wall Street, though, is having uneasy memories because in 2022 they called it the crypto bowl. 4 companies spent about $54 million on ads, and one of them was bankrupt, and one of the guys was in jail by the end of the year, and the other one shut. And in 2000, you had companies like Pets.com, which is everybody's famous kind of warning from history. All these startups spending $1 squillion, I'm making that figure up, a lot of money in 2000, just before the dot-com bubble. So they're saying this is not a good look to be having so much money spent on selling hard the virtues of AI. Surely it's doing the job. You don't need to necessarily advertise.
Interesting. Interesting.
The other thing I watched a lot, there was a lot of there about food. Sabrina Carpenter eating Pringles and making her ideal man out of Pringles. And the other one was, Serena Williams hawking the semi-glutide pills. Basically, America, you can have your cake and eat it too, it seems.
Oh, really? Serena Williams was doing that?
Yeah, I think she's a brand ambassador for Roe, which is a competitor to Novo Nordisk's.
Oh, my goodness.
So they're all...
Who isn't on them? Why is she playing so much tennis? She wouldn't need them. Anyway, thank you, Garth. Good to see you as always. Herald Now business host Garth Bray. That's thanks to our partners Forsyth Barr.